What's up, everybody? Glad to be back. Happy to be talking about Wandavision again. Sorry I'm so late on this one, but I had to travel to Atlanta, and this week we're doing something different because I was late. Stay tuned to find out. Okay, before we get started, you know what to do. Subscribe to that channel. Remember to hit the subscription button. All right, that helps out. Also, remember to like this video. Like the video, it helps with the algorithm. All right, please do that. And if you want to keep up with all Butler Did It content, you know what to do. Click that little bell and you will find out. All right, we're doing something different because I'm a little late to this review. All right, I love the last episode of WandaVision, and there's so many theories, but one thing that's really been, I don't know, bothering me, or maybe not bothering me, but I've just been super curious about, is this huge Luke Skywalker like cameo that's going to happen at some point in this show that Elizabeth Olsen teased. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. It's going to be a shorter video. I'm going to give you my top 3 characters, okay, my top 3 guesses of who could be the Luke Skywalker cameo in WandaVision. Now, before I reveal my list, let me just, help you guys understand what I consider to be a Luke Skywalker like appearance in WandaVision. Okay, now for those of you that don't know what Elizabeth Olsen was referring to and what I'm referring to, in the show The Mandalorian, which is another dope show, which I will be doing reviews of whenever it comes back on, I will be reviewing The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian, right? Star Wars property on Disney Plus. I'm not spoiling anything. If you're watching this, then you know what's going on. Luke Skywalker shows up at the end of on the final episode of season 2. That's right, Luke Skywalker, right? Mark Hamill himself, de-age, shows up, helps Baby Yoda out. It's an amazing moment. It's like it's just this huge moment for Star Wars fans like myself. Okay, there's no bigger character, I don't think, or more important character. Maybe, Vader. Okay, but there's really, other than Vader, there's no bigger character in the Star Wars universe than Luke Skywalker. So when Elizabeth Olsen, and again, to be clear, she was doing an interview with a publication, they asked her, she didn't just volunteer this information, they asked her, would it be like a Luke Skywalker moment on the show? Elizabeth Olsen said yes. Okay, now, is she telling the truth? I don't know. But let's have some fun here. Why not, right? Let's have some fun. It's WandaVision, right? Let's have some fun. So those are the rules, and that's the guidelines I went by, right? It has to be someone stepping into this universe that is as big as Luke Skywalker. Okay, now you have your MCU people, and these are some honorable mentions, right? You have your Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, Iron Man coming back would be a big deal. I would actually be very happy if Tony Stark came back, right? Of course, you have your Captain America. If Captain America made an appearance, Chris Evans, that will be pretty cool as well, all right? Other than those two, those are the only 2 MCU people that I think is a Luke Skywalker level appearance to the show. So let's get to the list. Let's start with number 3. Number 3, Luke Skywalker level appearance. Let's get to it. So at number 3, right, I say Reed Richards. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four showing up, preferably played by John Krasinski. Now, why would I say Reed Richards, right? Why would he show up in the show? What makes me feel like he may show up in the show? Well, some of you know where I'm going with this. Is Monica Rambeau's aerospace engineer friend, right? Who could this person be? The problem with WandaVision, and I love WandaVision, but the problem with WandaVision is that it's teeing up the ball for these huge shots, man. I mean, it's setting up home runs, right? And at this point, Marvel and us Marvel fans, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, right, with our expectations. Let me just put that out there right now, right? So if this aerospace engineer shows up that they've been teasing for 2 episodes, and it's some, B-list Marvel character that only, a few people know, or someone we don't really care about, or some MCU person that was around that, wasn't a big deal, one of the scientists from Thor or something like that, then we're going to be disappointed. And I'm admitting that, right? That's the problem. They gave us the Quicksilver thing, and they even tried to downplay that a little bit, right? They gave us the Quicksilver thing, so it's like, who else could it be? You can only go up from there, right? So in my opinion, hopefully the aerospace engineer at number 3, my number 3 pick would be Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Okay, at number 2, At number 2, and by the way, I'm throwing curveballs for the rest of this show, all right? At number 2, my pick would be Charles freaking Xavier. Now, why Charles Xavier, right? Why would Charles Xavier show up in this show? Why would that make sense, right? Well, if the Quicksilver thing is not some type of weird, trick on the audience, which again would be, I wouldn't like that, but I would still like the show, but I wouldn't like that, okay? If you're just trying to be meta and mess with the audience, that would really, I think that would be a missed opportunity. So let's just assume that they aren't going meta. Then if you're going by the House of M storyline, one of the people that was trying to get Wanda back down to Earth was Charles Xavier. We all know the powers that Professor X has. We know that if you're dealing with a telepath, sometimes you need another telepath. A lot of Wanda's powers, especially her son Wiccan's powers, are, telepathic. It's messing with your mind. It's, it's creating alternate realities, things like that. Then who better to deal with her than Professor X? And again, if you're dealing with the multiverse, it makes sense that Professor X could show up. Okay, this is a bold prediction. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. But it's a Luke Skywalker level cameo, right? Professor X. Now, okay, I'm going to get to my number 1. And again, these are bold predictions, right? These are bold predictions. Again, their Luke Skywalker level cameo could easily be Nick Fury. It's all about her opinion, right, of what's a Luke Skywalker cameo. And again, one of the things that's happening with this show that I have to be real honest with is that because there's so much mystery around the show, I'm seeing a Game of Thrones effect happening to this. And what I mean by the Game of Thrones effect is that the fans and the audience of the show start writing the show in their own mind, right? And when those things don't happen, they get disappointed. That's what happened with Game of Thrones. We'll talk about that in another episode of Geek Out. We'll definitely get into that. Check out the Geek Out playlist down at the bottom of this page. I will have a video up about Game of Thrones and what I think happened with the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. But anyway, I just want to set you up for that because again, these are bold predictions and this is what I think should happen, especially this number 1. All right, especially my number 1 pick. This should happen. But again, I trust the writers. I trust Marvel. I'm already invested in the show. I already love this show. Even if Quicksilver is Mephisto in costume or something goofy, and even if this guy doesn't show up to help out the real Quicksilver, right? The Fox Quicksilver, and to help out his daughter. That's right. My number 1 pick is Magneto. Why would Magneto show up? Because you have his children in the show. You're setting up a mutant story. No matter what, they're already setting up the mutants. They are doing that, okay? They are doing that. You have pulled the Quicksilver from the Fox universe. You brought him into the show, right? If you were just going to use Quicksilver to mess with Wanda's mind, then why not use the Marvel MCU version of Quicksilver? Why use the Fox version of Quicksilver, right? So if you're going to bring in the Fox version of Quicksilver and you have Wanda Maximoff, you're recreating realities and you're messing around with the multiverse, and there's a Doctor Strange movie called Multiverse of Madness, why not bring in Magneto to deal with his children? You're already borrowing from the House of M storyline. You're setting up mutants, like I said. These are the children of Magneto. You've got both of them there. They're talking about their parents and how they would miss their parents. You've got a magnetic field that no one can get into, even though the previews show that Monica Rambeau gets in there somehow. But you got this magnetic field, right? This electronic field. Why not bring in Magneto? Why not? It's only right. Again, these are just my opinion. Those are my top 3 potential Luke Skywalker level cameos for this show. Here's what I want you all to do. Comment below and let me know who you think could be the Luke Skywalker. Remember, Luke Skywalker level. That's huge. Luke Skywalker level cameo, right? Elizabeth Olsen said it. Who do you think it is? Give me your top 3 at the bottom. Let's talk about it. Remember to tune in. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Me and my wife, we were in Georgia. We had to travel to go see family, but I'm back now. New Wandavision review this Friday. It will be up. I've also got much more content. Me and my wife are doing something. I've been promising that one for a minute. We're doing something. We'll have a bunch of cool stuff coming up for you right here on this page. Like, subscribe, click that bell. Continue to be great. Remember to mind your mentals. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I'm up out of here.